Good morning, everyone. Andy Schwab here with your Northern Ag TV. Well, according to a John Tesser press release, Old Salt Meat Company, based in Helena, is receiving nearly $1.4 million to finance increased local meat processing. The funding will be used to establish a federally inspected slaughter facility. Now, more specifically, the co-op plans to scale up their fabrication space under the USDA inspection, as well as expand their cold storage capacity. Now, Senator John Tesser said he's been proud to have secured that funding to expand the operations at Montana's own Old Salt Meat Company, and that he also looks forward to seeing the funding strengthen the supply chains, bolster the economy, and create the good paying jobs in the process. Well, according to a DTN article on Friday, it highlighted how crop farmers will not be able to count on enough support from the USDA commodity programs next week when payments are announced for the Agricultural Risk Coverage Program and the Price Loss Coverage Program, or ARC and PLC. The USDA projects just $124.6 million in combined payments will go out to, which is much less than the $214 million estimate that is needed for the coverage. Now, this comes as farmers face a 2024 income drop, as the price of that should be down $26.2 billion for the major crops like corn, soybeans, and wheat. Of course, safety net programs for these falling prices won't come until October of 2025, leaving many producers concerned about how they're going to be managing until those prices recover and the new program takes effect. And looking at some of the ag events happening in the ag industry, of course, today kicks off the Western Sustainability Exchange Expanding Markets Conference in Billings. We will be there to cover the latest on the regenerative agriculture, and that's going to be taken over today and tomorrow. Now, also coming up on Friday and Saturday, it's the South Dakota Sheep Growers Association hosting their annual convention in Rapid City, with that 2 days of great learning opportunities and, of course, network of connections. Now, there are all those details available of those ag conventions and many more ag conventions that can be found on our website, ag calendar, northernag.net. Well, stay with me for a little bit because we're going to come back in 30 seconds to look over some of your ag markets.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.
Hey, welcome back to your Northern Ag TV. On Friday, the USDA released the latest cattle on feed report, which was pegged nearly perfectly in the pre-report estimates. In total, there are 11.2 million head of cattle in the feedlots, which is 1% above the 2023 levels. More highly anticipated than that was the number of cattle placed into the feedlots throughout the past month, which it totaled just under 2 million head and was a full percentage point below this time last year. That figure also had the widest pre-report range estimates, with many traders anticipating cattle from Mexico to influence the figure, while others pointed out that the historically low cattle numbers could have affected it. All in all, the report was viewed as pretty much neutral and didn't have a lot of effects on the cattle markets. Now, looking at some of those reports, we did see the cattle futures round out the beginning of the week on slightly above where they opened their bids, as the deferred contracts actually gathered the better demand. In addition, the USDA said nearly 87,000 head of cattle were purchased on the negotiated sales, with 90% of those headed for the delivery in the nearby 2-week delivery window. This certainly could help out the feedlots demand higher dollars this week. On the local auctions, we'll go to St. Ange Livestock, where yearling steers and heifers were the main character. More specifically, it was a heavy heifer seeing a high head count, as those middle 7-weight cowgirls ranged 240 to 249, while light 8-weight heifers anywhere from 224.50 up to 236.50, and those cowgirls tipping the scale on the heavy end of the 800 pounds, not far behind them, 221 to 230. For the wheat markets, they surged on Monday, buoyed by the continued dryness in the Black Sea, the possible port strike in Vancouver, and likely fun short covering. Now, U.S. wheat demand remains solid, with their sales up sharply from last year, and those inspections actually running about 36% above the year-ago levels. Wheat markets were also boosted by the double-digit gains in the row crops, with corn harvests on pace with their prior averages, along with the same story for the soybeans. Well, that is going to do it for our Northern Ag TV here today. I'm Andy Schwab. Have a great rest of your day.